I
I do.
object
What's your objection?
because I was traveling. I wasn't driving. Is there any injured party? Do we have a sworn affidavit or complaint from an injured party? No one was injured. There's no injured parties. If you guys can't bring forth any injured party, then why are we still here? I need this to be dismissed, and the funds that was issued on the bond account needs to be reimbursed to me. Period. You guys don't have any injured party here. Based on the Constitution, the Sixth Amendment, if you guys can't bring forth the accuser, then this needs to be dismissed.
All right, folks. We've got another courtroom showdown featuring a sovereign citizen who's convinced the law just doesn't apply to him. This guy's pulling the classic, I wasn't driving, I was traveling excuse because, that's definitely worked. Before today, we're breaking down the body cam footage of him blowing through a red light and seeing how that argument plays out in court. Hint, not great. It's a masterclass in legal delusion and a serious waste of the judge's time, but hey, at least it makes for some entertaining content. Let's get into it.
I was stopped at the 11 Mile and Washington light facing westbound. I had a green arrow and a vehicle proceeded eastbound on 11 Mile through a light, which gained my attention. That light was red for them, which drew my attention to that vehicle.
Judge, at this time, I'd like to play that video from Officer Moran's dash cam. Judge, I'm just gonna stop that video here. Is that the video taken from your patrol car?
That is the vehicle for my patrol vehicle.
Does that fairly and accurately portray the events of the incident that led to the defendant being issued a civil infraction on that date and time?
It does.
Your Honor, I'd ask that that video be admitted into evidence.
All right, so admitted.
Officer, so what do you see on that video?
What I see, like I spoke to earlier, I was stopped at the 11 Mile at Washington light facing westbound. I got the green arrow to turn southbound on Washington when a vehicle proceeded eastbound through, obviously, the red light.
When you approached that vehicle, did you observe the driver of that vehicle?
I did.
Do you recognize the driver of that vehicle on this Zoom today?
I do.
object
What's your objection?
Because I was traveling. I wasn't driving.
I swear, nothing makes me cringe harder than sovereign. Citizens tossing around objection like it's some kind of magic spell. Like, bro, do you even know what a testimony is? It's not just random people talking, it's actual evidence being presented. The way he blurted out objection at the worst possible moment just proves he has no clue how court works. And let's not overlook the fact that this guy is actually representing himself. My man walked into court completely unarmed. Raw dogging. The legal system with zero understanding of the basics. Does this hurt your brain as much as it hurts mine? Because I swear watching this is physically painful, but also weirdly addictive. Let's get back to it.
Okay, overruled. Go ahead. You can answer the question, Officer Moran.
Yes, I do see the defendant in the court today.
Your Honor, let the record reflect that Officer Moran has identified the defendant, Anthony Mathis.
The record will so reflect.
When you pulled the defendant over, did you have a conversation with him?
I did.
And in that conversation, did he admit to you that he had driven through the red light?
He did.
And ultimately, you issued him a ticket?
I did.
What was that ticket for that you had issued him?
I actually issued him an impeding traffic ticket.
Okay. But that's not what he actually did, correct?
No, that's not.
Why did you issue him the impeding traffic ticket?
Mr. Mathis at the time had a good driving record. He knew what he did. He told me he admitted to it, and he had a good attitude on the road. So I chose to go an impeding traffic ticket.
I object.
What's your objection?
I never admitted to anything. Do you guys have that on the record? Did you guys pull that up that I admitted to something?
You'll have a chance
Not,
to.
then that's false.
Mr. Mathis, you'll have a chance. Your objection's overruled. This is his testimony from his memory. You'll have a chance to testify yourself and add any additional evidence here. So at this point, that is not a proper objection. It's overruled. Anything else to add there to that?
Just very briefly, Judge, what infraction did you actually observe?
I could have wrote him two infractions, either disobey traffic control device or disobey traffic signal.
And that's what he actually did, correct?
Correct.
Judge, I have nothing further at this time.
Now, Mr. Mathis, it's your opportunity to ask Officer Moran any questions that you feel are necessary. Now, I just want to instruct you. You'll have a chance to testify if you choose to in a moment. Right now, anything that you say should be in the form of a question directed at the officer. If you're going to start testifying, I'm going to have to interrupt you and redirect you. You'll have that chance in a moment. It's just to ask questions. So go ahead with any questions you have.
All right. Well, for the record, is there any injured party? Do we have a sworn affidavit or complaint from an injured party?
No, there's no injured party.
Okay, so we don't have any injured party. So Judge, you've been sworn in to uphold the Constitution, correct?
I'm not on the stand. I'm not answering any questions like that, Mr. Mathis, excuse me.
So what type of court is this? Is this Admiralty Maritime Law?
Mr. Mathis, right now is your opportunity to ask Officer Moran any questions that you want to. If you're going to make some legal objections or something along those lines, you can do that in your closing. But right now, this moment in time is for you to ask Officer Moran any questions.
Okay. Well, for the record, we don't have any injured parties. Correct?
Judge, that's been asked and answered.
Sustained. He already answered that question.
Right, correct. I just wanted to make sure that we got that on the record. So if there's no injured party here, then why are we here?
Oh, I know. Maybe it's because this genius thought fighting a traffic ticket in court was some kind of master plan instead of just paying it like a normal person. At this point, I'm convinced his IQ has officially dipped into the negatives. Like, my guy, have you ever seen a single courtroom drama? Court isn't some free-for-all. It has a structure. Opening statements, testimonies, closing arguments. Not exactly rocket science. Also, can we take a second to appreciate the judge's patience? This guy's pushing every button, and yet the judge is handling it way more calmly than I ever could. What do you think? Is the judge being too nice? Let me know.
No,
Judge, I don't think that's an appropriate question for
it
Officer Moran.
should have been no type of charge of
Hang on,
anything.
Mr. Mathis. When just like when you made an objection, we all waited for the court to make a ruling. That's what you need to do. So Mr. Kluzny just made an objection that your question was actually more of a legal argument. I think that's what your objection was, Mr. Kluzny, correct?
Yes, Judge, I don't believe there was a question directed to the officer.
So I'm sustaining that objection. And again, you can make those legal arguments or whatever the case is that you want to make at the end. Right now, it's just questions or not to Officer Moran. Anything else?
No, that's the only question that I have. If there's no injured party, he said no one was injured.
All right. So, Mr. Kluzny, would you like to call any additional witnesses? I should ask you first, any redirect of Officer Moran?
Not at this time, Judge.
All right. Then any additional witnesses, Mr. Kluzny?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Mathis, will you be testifying or do you have any witnesses that you'd like to call on your behalf?
No, I don't.
All right. Mr. Kluzny, then your closing statement?
Judge, based on the testimony of Officer Moran and the video, it's clear by a preponderance of evidence that the defendant committed the offense of disobeying a traffic signal. The authority for the stop comes from MCL 257.611 or 257.612. I believe that's for the traffic control device. The video in this case could not be more clear, Judge. You see Officer Moran is in the left turn lane. He gets a green arrow, and the defendant in his vehicle has a red light. Drives right through the red light. If Officer Moran didn't stop, he would have hit the defendant's vehicle because he went right through the red light. It's rare that we have a video that is as clear as this, Judge. And the officer tried to give him a break by writing him for an impeding instead of what he actually did, which was disobeying a traffic signal. And I believe it's clear, based on the testimony in the video, that the defendant is responsible for that traffic offense of disobeying a traffic signal.
Repeat your change.
Yeah. Thank you.
You got the light?
Mr. Mathis, your closing argument?
Well, what I would like to say on the record is no one was injured. There's no injured parties. If you guys can't bring forth any injured party, then why are we still here? I need this to be dismissed, and the funds that was issued on the bond account needs to be reimbursed to me. Period. You guys don't have any injured party here. Based on the Constitution, the Sixth Amendment, if you guys can't bring forth the accuser, then this needs to be dismissed.
All right, let's entertain this guy's logic for just a second. If no victim, no crime actually applied to traffic laws, imagine the absolute chaos. By his reasoning, we could all blow through red lights, speed through school zones, and park literally anywhere. Because hey, no victim, right? It's like these people completely forget why traffic laws exist. Without them, we'd basically be living in a real-life game of bumper cars, except with actual consequences. Let's be real, even he doesn't believe what he's saying. He just doesn't want to take responsibility, so he's pulling out the classic sovereign citizen script, hoping for some magical loophole. Spoiler alert, it's not going to work. Let's keep going.
Anything else, Mr. Mathis?
Not at the moment.
All right. Was there a bond posted? I'm not quite sure what he's talking
Absolutely.
Judge, it looks like there was a $175 bond posted. Judge, I apologize. I actually, the file is here. I'm going to send the file into court.
Mr. Kaluzny, the amendment was to disobey a traffic signal, which is a... okay.
I apologize, Judge. The file coming into you.
That's all right. The amendment that the people made here was to disobey a traffic signal. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. The court's heard the testimony, the arguments of the parties, reviewed the video that was introduced as evidence. The video shows clearly the vehicle driven by Mr. Mathis to go through a red light, the traffic signal at 11 in Washington. The standard here at issue is preponderance. The video showed beyond any doubt, really, that that's what occurred. Also, there's testimony from Officer Moran that that Mr. Mathis did actually admit on the roadside that he had done what was alleged to have occurred here today. That testimony was uncontroverted by any other evidence that was introduced. With that, the court does find Mr. Mathis to be responsible for the amended charge of disobey a traffic signal. That's a $150 fine. Mr. Mathis has posted a $175 bond, so the court will apply the bond to the fine of $150. There's a $25 refund coming to Mr. Mathis, and that's all for today.
This guy really just wanted to waste everyone's time. Not only did he drag this whole thing out for absolutely no reason, but he didn't even bother giving a halfway decent testimony to support his argument. At first, I thought he was just clueless, but somehow, he managed to lower the bar even further. So, what do you guys think? Is this officially the dumbest sovereign citizen case we've covered? And how would you rank this guy's IQ? Because honestly, I wouldn't even know where to begin. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I love reading your takes, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. Let me know what you want to see next on the channel. Appreciate you all for watching. Take care.